Hello and welcome back to the world of the spirit consciousness. This is a book study session, The Etheric Double by Arthur Powell. Now we are discussing the eighth module, which deals with the application magnetization of objects. This is covered in chapter 23. This particular video of this module will deal with an introduction of what magnetization is, and it gives examples of magnetized objects. This session is being conducted by myself, Ashish Agarwal, and I have been assisted by Ms. Riddhi Shah in my efforts. So this video has been split up into various sessions. Break it down. Introduction, examples of physical objects that absorb magnetism, talismans, creating talismans, types of talismans, substances amenable to use as talismans, magnetism in everyday life, demagnetization of objectives, and application of magnetization in churches through rituals. So this particular video will touch upon these two topics. This will be in a subsequent video and this will be in a third video. So there are three videos to this module, video 1, video 2 and video 3. So introduction to magnetization of objects. So mesmerism or vital fluid can be utilized not only for healing or mesmerizing others, but also to fill objects with one's own mesmeric fluid. So when any object is kept in close contact with a person, the object absorbs the vitality fluid radiated by the person, and as a result, the object will generate the same thoughts and feelings in them with which it is filled. This is a part of the reasoning behind talismans, charms, and relics. So this is also why the walls of churches and cathedrals actually radiate vibrations of devotion and worship. So each stone of such places of worship is a talisman in itself. So these are filled with the magnetism of the worship, the devotion of the ones who built it. They are blessed by the bishop and they are made stronger by the devotional thoughts of several generations of people spanning thousands of years. So examples of physical objects that absorb magnetism. So physical objects continuously absorb the radiating magnetism even though few people are aware of the process. Some examples include food, books, precious stones, money, bedding, and constructions of shrines and holy places. So magnetization of each of the above will be discussed in subsequent slides. Magnetization of food. Now, food absorbs the magnetism of those who hold it or come close to it. So, due to this, there is a strict rule in Hinduism about consumption of food in the presence of certain kinds of people or of food which has been subjected to their magnetism. So, for practitioners of occult, magnetic purity is of utmost importance, as is physical cleanliness. Magnetism is radiated the most through hands. That's why foods like bread and pastry are more likely to be full of the magnetism of those who make them. Luckily, most types of physical magnetism is eliminated by the use of fire in baking or cooking. So some students of occultism prefer using their own utensils for eating to ensure that no mixing up of magnetism takes place. Some even prefer getting their hair cut exclusively by someone whose magnetism they accept as satisfactory. They do not allow anyone else to touch their head, as it is that part of the body which should be prevented from alien magnetism at all costs. Magnetization of books. So books are also prone to be filled by mixed magnetisms, more so those in a public library. Of precious stones, so precious stones are the most highly developed in the mineral kingdom. They possess a greater ability to absorb and preserve vibrations. So jewelry made of precious stones is full of envious and greedy vibrations. Some historical jewels are filled with physical and other magnetisms related to the crimes that have been executed to own the jewels. Jewelry of such kind preserve the undamaged magnetisms for thousands of years. So due to this, practitioners of occultism generally recommend not wearing such jewelry. At the same time, jewels can be powerful storehouses of positive and pleasant vibrations. For instance, the Gnostic gems used in initiation ceremonies as long as 2000 years ago still have powerful magnetism preserved in them. Another example is that of the Egyptian scarabei, which are more ancient than the Gnostic gems and yet very powerful. Magnetization of money. So coins and notes of money are often receptors of very negative magnetism. So it contains a large mixture of all sorts of magnetisms and is in close contact with the thoughts and feelings of all the people who have handled it. The impact of such mixed up and aggravated magnetism on the astral and mental bodies is similar to the impact of attacking the physical body with radium emissions. Nickel has lower receptivity of such influences as compared to copper, and silver and gold are even less open to negative magnetism. Copper and bronze coins, as well as old and dirty notes, are most vulnerable to unpleasant magnetisms. Magnetization of bedding. So beds are also an instance of magnetism being absorbed and radiated by physical objects. It has been observed by people that they are more prone to getting disturbing dreams if the person who slept on the pillow before them was of awful character. Also, wool is full of animal influence, and hence, if it is utilized for bedding, one must ensure not to bring it in contact with the skin. Magnetization of shrines and holy places. So, important holy places are constructed on locations where either a holy man used to live or a noble event has occurred, for example, an initiation took place, or where there are remains of a noble person. If any such event has occurred in the place becomes a center of powerful magnetic impact which will last for thousands of years. Also, in cases where the relic of a great person is not that powerful or not even genuine, the mere host or visit of devout believers across centuries makes the place an active center for good and powerful magnetism. The impact of such places on visitors and pilgrims is undoubtedly good. So the next video in this module will deal with talismans. Stay tuned.